Here's the other side. See all that broken ice? And out into the woods, that's all flooded. See where these telephone poles are? Usually, you can walk out there. Most of that is covering land, that's why it's not moving. You can usually walk around down there where those telephone poles are. It's all flooded. This is how fast river conditions can change. This morning, there wasn't any ice along the edge here. It was flooded, but the entire river was frozen. Within 3 hours, the sun came out, it stopped raining, all the ice on the river completely broke and went away, and all this collected on the side, and then the level of the water dropped about 3 feet. This all happened in just a few hours. You can see the ice area where it's white, and to the right of that is all flooded. That is usually land. It's filled up this entire gully down here with water, and there's still very thick ice on it, and it's starting to break. If you look down right here in the center of the screen, you can see large chunks of ice going underneath that dam of logs. Usually you can walk under this bridge. There's usually a flat grassy area under there. Not today. That's underwater a few feet. Take a look on the other side. See there's a lot of breaking. See the big chunks of ice moving. It's all flooded way over there, about 100 feet off of the riverbed. You can really tell it's flooded. You can see the island down there. There's usually trees showing big chunks of ice. And now the river is still flooded on this side, but the ice is gone, and all those logs that have been blocking this river for the past 4 years are gone because the pressure of the ice must have pushed all those logs away. And that's gonna break any time. That big piece that goes across the river, anytime that's gonna start cracking. Starting to come back. Still can't walk underneath the other side. Still has to drop about 2 more feet. Thanks for watching. Just a week ago, I was walking down here making a video of the heavy icing on the river. It's completely broke away. I was standing right at the base of that dead tree, which is near the edge of the river. Now it's all the way up to the edge of the hill. It's a nice moss-covered hill. It was very slippery a week ago. Not anymore. There's a nice full moon coming out tonight. It's a steep hill coming up here. I gotta zigzag walking it. This river is almost frozen. There's just a small strip in the middle where you can see it flowing. This river is about 3 feet deep in the middle, kind of slow moving. And this area here is maybe about 25 feet wide. When further up there it gets a little wider. Here's kind of a steep hill, so I'm going to put the camera down and slowly climb down this hill because there's a trail down there that runs along the shore. That's not really a walking trail. The animals created that one. This river, you can see there's a lot of riverbank showing, so it's really probably only 2 feet deep, but it's not that thick, the ice. I'm not going out on that. I'm just gonna go down and show more of the ice, because you can see up here that none of that's frozen there. It's about 5 degrees or so. Tonight's gonna be -3 with a -25 wind chill. I don't know what the wind chill is now, but there really isn't any wind. Look how much this has changed in just 1 week. We had 3 inches of rain and 60-degree temps. A big change from those -20s we had. That is not the riverbank. The riverbank is in about 20 feet. It's really flooding, and this is only half the river. If you look over here on the camera, half of the river is taking a shortcut through the woods instead of going around this corner. I just climbed down underneath this bridge. There's all the flowing water. The ice here is about 2 inches thick. I'm not gonna go out on that. Across there, the other part where you can see the really thick snow, that's about 4 inches. The fast-moving water that I don't think is gonna freeze. But look through this tunnel. The other side, you can see some water, so there is flowing underneath here. But look at the tunnel. Halfway across, the bricks change. Here it has these nice granite, but over there, they're just cinder blocks at the other end. So that means years ago, this bridge was only 1 lane. Then they made it double lanes. And the older bridge, you can see, doesn't have areas for storm drains. You can see those big icicles to the left are from the storm drains. What I'm standing on now is about 2 inches. But the water underneath me, because I kicked through the spot, it only goes through about, see, that's the bottom there. It's only a few inches of water under here. But I'm not gonna go in here. See these footprints? What are those from? Raccoon? They go all the way across the frozen river. What could those be? Look at this on the train tracks. There's some mourning doves sitting right there on the rail. That's what that is. They're gonna fly away as I get closer, but as I've been coming here, there's this one puddle here that never freezes. There's flowing water going to it. It's like some kind of warm spring or something. This never freezes, this one puddle. And all around it's ice. If I get too close, it'll fall in. And it is like -2 degrees right now this afternoon. Look at all the mourning doves. They're all sitting around here because of that water. Because these icicles, no matter how cold it is, they're constantly dripping. There is some source of water in this mountain that's really warm. It never seems to freeze. I've never seen that many of those doves in a long time. It's like 2 dozen of them that were out here sitting. Now look at this, if I cross over these train tracks. This ice just keeps coming, look at this. See, and you can cave it in because it's hollow, because it's running underneath. I was here making videos of this a week ago. These icicles, they were icicles last week. Now it's just like a big glob of ice because they keep melting and melting over each other. Just keeps coming closer to the rail. I bet if I come up here in 2 weeks, some of this will be actually touching that rail. Well, not over it, because obviously the trains will run over it, keep crushing it, but they are growing, all this ice in this. It's kind of cold now, so I'm gonna put my camera away. Thanks for watching. Well, here's further down. There's only like a small slot that hasn't frozen yet, and that has a bunch of ice chunks traveling through it. This chunk pretty much goes up the entire river, but it ends here briefly and starts around the corner. Where I just was a minute ago is at the end of this land where that little hill is. I walked back up it, then and came back down the steep hill. Right now, the land I'm on right now is pretty much even. This is the riverbank. The edge of this is kind of strong, but I wouldn't dare go out here. You see, this is the edge of the ice here. I have 1 foot on land, but the edge is like 2 layers. It's like a soft top layer, just like in the swamp. Looking at the land, this looks like this would be swamp where I'm standing now. Yeah, this is definitely ice I'm standing on, but this is really thick ice. Nice weeping willow tree. Yeah, you can see right there in the middle, that slot is ceiling there. This is the way the deer go, because kind of a trail made here. A nice big dead tree. Yeah, you see it? It briefly ends again. Yeah, why didn't this part of the river freeze? You can see around the edges of this hole, there's a good 4 inches of ice around the edge. Yeah, but look what kind of ice it is. It's like chips. Yeah, and that's water right under. This kind of ice would not hold you. You just smash right through this. It's like, there's a lot of air in there. It's like the outside of a croissant. Tons of thin layers. This ice, yeah, you wouldn't even make it out there on the edge. You go right through this. Really flaky ice. Got some poison oak climbing up this tree. Now there's kind of like an ice dam in the middle. Well, I made it up to the part where it's completely frozen over. And you can see there are animal tracks out there. Small things. Raccoon, coyotes. Now the ice here, now this looks like a different kind of ice. Because you see it's more like a bluish. But that can't be thick because there's no snow on it. And you can see a little bit of flowing there. And it's flowing here for some reason. There's gotta be like a rock under there pushing the current up. What are these tracks? Well, this is ice here, like the edge. That's pretty strong. Couldn't imagine how many ticks would be out here in the spring. Running into a few pricker bushes out here. Okay, got through that pricker bush. Can't go any further because there's more and more prickers. This is all prickers in back of me. The only way back is to walk the river bank. There's the dead tree. See, there's got a lot of current coming underneath this tree branch. For the last week here, the temperatures have not gotten out of the single digits for the last week. It's all been cold. Today is high is, I think, 11 degrees. That's what the high is. Next few days, it's in the single digits. A few days are in the 20s. Then it's back in the single digits again. So this is gonna have a lot more time to freeze. In maybe another week or two, I'll make another video showing this more frozen. I got a video that I can post later on showing what this looks like in the summertime. So I was here in the summertime, the water was really low and I could walk along the edge of this on the rocks. So it's obviously a lot higher now. Something's going on way over there. The road is about half a mile through there. That other side of the river. The way I got here is from back there. About 2 mile walk back to the street I came from. Thanks for watching. I made it down to the place that it's not freezing. And if you look in the middle of the screen, there's chunks of ice breaking off. They're like sliding out from underneath there and floating, and they're getting stuck, and it's building up more ice. You can see this branch here just fell, and that's on top of the ice. The ice with the snow on it, you could tell it's been there since yesterday when we got a coating. Like here, like that thinner ice around the edge is new. Ice is not that thick, maybe an inch or two. Most of this would not hold a person. Here in back of me is a nice gradual way down. That's the way I should have took. I walked here along the edge of the river. Kind of slippery, but there's trees to hold on to. Right now I'm going to take a walk up, further up here to see where it's completely frozen across. It's more interesting. There's that same hill that I saw last week that was snow covered. And here's the river, completely defrosted, and it's receding even more. This morning, it was almost to where my feet are, but it's dropped a few feet. See how the big ice chunks just floating on by? 1 week ago, you could almost walk across this. There was 4 inches of ice on here. All gone now. Okay, I just crossed the bridge. Now I'm underneath the other side. Here's the trail, it goes right into the water. Usually you can walk underneath here. It's completely flooded out. In the middle of the bridge on that support, usually there's an island around there that's built up. That's all underwater. This ice was thick enough to walk out to that middle pillar 1 week ago. Now, can't even get out there. Now I'm going to show you the other side, which is really impressive. Further down, you have all these sticks and debris collecting against this wall. But you can see it's definitely more flooded here along the gas line markers. It looks like I'm gonna have to turn around. It's still not low enough to get back to the bridge this way. I may just have to go around. Water is not gonna be low enough to let me get back over there. Now I remember just walking here a week ago. None of this was here. Yeah, that water goes right into the pricker bushes. No way I'm going through here now. You can't even see the river. It's like 100 feet into the woods there. That's how much of this has flooded. I'm in Palmer, Massachusetts, where there is a lot of flooding from the river going over its banks. All these woods here are usually dry. Where I'm standing now is an access area for a gas pipeline, which is under me now. That's what all these markers are indicating. And the river is over here. Where I'm standing now, where it's all muddy, the water was here just 2 hours ago. The level is dropping, so I decided to take a walk out here before it completely drops. And to show that the water was definitely here, see that giant chunk of ice? That's way out of the water because it's already receding a lot. Where I'm standing now maybe had 2 feet of water a few hours ago. That's how this chunk of ice got here. It floated and got stuck. They're all over the riverbank. This morning, this river, from my previous video, did have a lot of ice, but it has pretty much broken now. Here's this big sheet. Yeah, you can see they all piled up here along the edge. Today would have been a good day to wear ice cleats. Then I'd be able to walk right across without the worry of slipping. I'm not going to step out here because that'll slide me right in there. But there, that's all grass. There's about another 20 feet before the actual bed. You see there's water beyond that vegetation over there. That's all the riverbank flooding. Water all still up in there. Looks like I'm not gonna walk there. Looks like I am. Walking out on this piece of ice that got stuck. This piece is actually about 4 inches thick. Is this something big enough that you could float down the river on? Now there, that's where the edge of the river is. I'd say it's maybe 6 or 8 feet deep. Because usually in the summertime it's 2 feet. Good for swimming. See all the ice chunks, and up there further, that's the bridge I was at this morning. I'm about to take another walk up there to see if now I can walk under the bridge. Usually there's a nice spot under there for fishing, like a grassy area. It's nice and flat. This morning it was under 3 feet of water. I'll turn the camera on when I get back up there, because I gotta jump here. This sheet of ice here knocked down one of the gas company's markers. It's underneath there. It moved this piece of tree, which was actually very close to the river last week. Maybe another day I'll come up here again with my ice cleats when all this water is gone. Hopefully by tomorrow all this water will be back inside the river. Then all this ice will just be sitting here on the land. Because with this ice here, if you have cleats on, you could walk down the side of the river. It cleared a path, knocking down all the pricker bushes. Look at all the ice to the left. That means that entire apple orchard over there was underwater. So I was up there on the trail. It's about halfway up the hill, and wow, there was a lot of train traffic today. That is the second train within 10 minutes. But what I'm doing now, I walked down here to see what this was, because from up there I was thinking, what is that? Because up there it looked square. It looked like maybe long railroad ties, but it's not. It's a piece of 8-inch thick ice, and that thing is huge. It's on its side. It goes way under. It got wedged here, and what I'm standing on, I think is part of that. The part that broke standing. What I'm standing on right now is about 8 inches thick. You can see how crystal clear it is. You can see things floating by underneath there. But out there, past the ledge at this line, it's about 4 feet deep. Under me, it's about 2 feet. Because right around here is the edge of the river. See it down there? Here, 2 feet. There, 1 foot in mud, because this is the edge of the river. I'm not gonna walk out there, even though it's about 8 inches and it'll probably hold me. I'm not gonna do it. Because all it takes is one slip. And I don't feel like getting that cold today. And this morning was 61 degrees. Within 3 hours, it has dropped to 25. A very fast-moving cold front. Because it was raining this morning, you can see the top of this had rainwater on it. And it's already freezing. And I can't believe it. Here comes another train. Just 2 minutes from the last one. This is my way out. Go back up. And now the trail leads away from the river. This whole area is where the river was flooding. The temperature went below freezing, so ice started forming, but the river was still dropping. So if you smash all this ice, the water dropped. But probably by tomorrow morning, I'll be able to walk out here again like last week. All this is a marshland. Look at this big chunk. There we go. Is it gonna hit the tree? Didn't hit it much, but believe it or not, I felt the vibration from that. Some of these chunks of ice have a lot of power. Looks like there's another big one coming by. That may be one. Watched a big chunk hit the tree branch. Maybe this one will hit it head on. These pieces are bigger than they look. Wow, look at that. You see that? It built up pressure and it pushed the whole tree branch underwater. Yeah, look at that. That's like 8 inches thick. That one actually got stuck. A few moments ago, a big sheet like slid right over and flipped. Hey, check out this. A big piece of ice. I thought I was gonna hit that tree branch. So every now and then one of them hits it, it pushes it underwater, and the piece will flip over. That's a pretty big piece. Look at that. There's that log. I didn't even plan this. It just happened. I released that 2 hours ago, about a mile upstream. It kind of got stuck, but it obviously just got free because it met me down here a mile away. It's amazing. Perfect timing. Look over there next to that tree. I know it's blurry, but in the center of the screen, there's a lawn chair like 3/4 of the way under the water. Like somebody used to sit over there.